your book is amazing. Like, your book is amazing. I read it cover to cover, and I feel like the sign of a great book, like a real great book, isn't just when it sort of like entertains you or takes you, but also like really shifts you. And I felt like your book, I left reading your book feeling shifted.
Oh,
Like I felt shifted. I felt more empowered. And I almost felt like I was able to borrow your courage to be more bold, is how I felt. And I think that's really powerful. So I just want to say, for every person who wants to learn to use and discover their own voice, or maybe for every person who is on a healing journey, every person who is about to leave a relationship and say, I'm not going to trade myself for being in this relationship. I'm not going to um, settle for that. Or for anyone who really wants to, embrace the power and freedom of like being who they truly are and to kind of stop apologizing for it. I feel like there's so much in this book that I took away. So I just want to say congratulations, and it's gonna impact a lot of people.
thank you so much. My hope has been, especially with this book, is to inject optimism and female empowerment, any empowerment really to anyone who feels disempowered, and to highlight that it is always possible to capture light in darkness.
Mm. You dedicated the book to flight attendants and said, you've been on so many flights, and if anyone is being an asshole, that they can just tap your shoulder. You're going to step up and have their back. Have you always had the confidence to speak your mind and say how you feel?
Yeah, I mean, misplaced confidence, in the beginning, because I was like this as a very young girl, which I also talk a lot about in the book. I've always had been I've always been resistant to injustice and authority figures, quite frankly. But injustice very much as I've grown older and realized that confidence isn't a gift that everyone receives, right? Everyone doesn't feel confident all the time. So I've realized that my confidence is a power tool, and I have to use that judiciously. And I feel when people are being treated badly or unfairly, like that is the best use of my voice.
Mm.
And I've never seen anything happen more consistently or more terrible treatment happen consistently than I have on planes. and and the way that our flight attendants, who are our sisters in the sky, are treated during COVID, during post COVID. We haven't really ever recovered from COVID socially, and what people think is appropriate to do on planes or the license they take. And I find that to be completely disrespectful to flight attendants. They are stuck with us in a tube of air for however long your flight is, and they deserve to be respected.
Yeah.
And they deserve to be, it's more than respect. They can really, they're taking care of us, and they're like our nannies. So, like, we really need to value them and treat them well.
When you look at the studies, it's shocking that the majority of women are people pleasers, and we're scared to speak our mind or to say the truth, or it might offend
Yes.
somebody. Are you able? And you talk about doing it for injustice, which is such a great. By the way, for anyone listening, this is such a great hack. If you're like, I don't know how to speak my mind, uh, uh, when you make it about someone else, it's almost easier to do it. Like, oh, I'm actually helping this person, then it's easier to stand up for yourself and say how you feel. Are you able, Chelsea, to do that as fearlessly when it's for yourself?
That's a great question. No, not always. Sometimes I suck it up because I know I can. Like, I can be like, okay, well, that's not about me. That's not going to impact me in a deleterious way that it might impact another person. So I would say I'm more protective of others.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I want to make sure that if people don't feel empowered, I've got your back. I have that attitude.
Yeah.
But I'm not shy about standing up for myself. Sometimes I just feel like it's not worth it. I don't need that. I don't need to do that. But very recently I did stand up myself for myself in a big way, and I had to make a move in my life that kind of was a bummer, but also I needed to take care of myself. And I'm I'm proud of the way that I am able to make decisions at this point in my life. I'm proud of the woman that I've become. I'm proud of all the work that I've put in to become this more self-aware, kinder, still bold and still brave person. And all I want to do is inject that into other people. Like I want everyone to feel this way,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, when you walked in today, that's what I was saying, that I was very not, and I never try to have any expectations when I read a book, and I just think, "Oh, this is someone's offering to the world. What a gift it is for me to read it," is how I kind of approach it, and I felt injected. I felt injected.
I love
I
that.
felt injected from your book, and so it does that, and that's why I think I'm so passionate about it right now and fired up about it, because that is, you can't buy that, you can't fake that. I really felt that. When you say you did that recently in your life, are you referring to ending a relationship and choosing yourself over your relationship or
It
something
was a
else?
professional relationship, so
Ah,
it
okay.
wasn't a personal relationship, but yeah, it was
Yes.
a professional relationship. I left my agency recently and I
I
had been
saw
there
that.
for a really long time.
Yeah.
And that was a difficult decision to make, one that I thought about long and hard because there were a few people at that agency who, really were working so hard for me. But at the end of the day, I had to step up and decide what I want my future to look like. And I know I made the right decision. So it was it was difficult, but I faced it, and I didn't cower away from an uncomfortable conversation. I didn't do anything. I'm never craven, when I never like take the easy way out or let someone else make the call. Like I'm very intentional about, I'm going to tell you that our relationship's over. I'm not going to have someone else do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take the easy road out because I'm a conflict avoidant or any of that. I'm not any of those things.
Yeah.
And while many conversations are uncomfortable, there's a lot to be said about being face to face with someone and giving them that kind of news in a careful, delicate way and an honest way.
Mhm.
And so I'm proud of that also.
How did your old agency handle it?
They were so gracious. They were so gracious to me because we've been in a relationship for many years and they know me well and they know the type of person that I am and how hard I work. And, some other parts of the agency weren't really working in concert. So they understood.
Mhm.
And that was another example of the way that my relationships have been built. Like the fact that there wasn't anger or resentment, and you're always welcome here. If you ever want to come back, please come back. And like, that's exactly how I want things to end. When I was younger, I would make rash decisions and I
Mhm.
would be reactive and I
Mhm.
would be angry. And I no longer operate that way. And I'm a happier person because of it.
Well, they should say you're always welcome back because before today, I always knew you as somebody blessed by your talent, but as someone that watched it, right? Watched you on television, like was blessed by your talent. Uh, Doing the research for the past few weeks for today, and tell me if this is right. You have to be a crazy hard worker because the number of shows you have produced, executive produced, launched out into the world that are in partnership with other people, ones that you've done. I mean, I'm talking about the things that you have done in your career so far. I mean, and you're on tour right now. You have a residency. You're about to film another Netflix special, and in the middle of it, you're driving up here to see me in Montecito to do this show. And I'm looking at all that. Have you always been and are you now just a really, really, really hard worker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be a hard
Yeah.
worker. I'm a
Yeah.
hustler.
Yeah.
That's what this business is, hustling.
Yeah.
I've been doing this since when I became very successful, probably 30, 32 was when Chelsea Lately began, but I had a lot of success before that that wasn't as big, right?
Mhm.
So my career started kind of taking off. I published my first book when I was 27. I was on a show called Girls Behaving Badly. I had a
Mhm.
few development deals. So I had little pockets of success and I was kind of the drumbeat was going in the right direction.
Yeah.
But since I can remember, like even when I was on Chelsea Lately for 7 years, I did that show 5 days a week or 4 days a week. And then I would be on a book tour every single weekend. I would fly to 3 different cities or 2 different cities and do anywhere from 3 to 6 shows a weekend,
Mm.
fly back on a Monday morning, do all of that again. And I've always been able to really hit it hard. I take long breaks when I have time. I'll take a month off and go to my house in Spain. I'm about to leave for Whistler for a month because I like to play hard and I like to work hard and I want all of the experiences.
Yeah. Today, in this episode of the Jamie Kern Lima Show podcast, if you're ready to feel the freedom of being the real you, finally, if you're ready to build better friendships or strengthen the ones you have and truly learn how to be a girl's girl, if you'd like to release negativity and experience more joy in your life today, then this episode with the incredible Chelsea Handler, who shares things she's never shared before, is for you.